ask you this about thick skin kind of thing, because the last couple weeks I've been listening to every word you've put out, right? Like I said, I listened to every interview, every podcast. I went deep into the YouTube rabbit holes, and I listened to you, and then I hear a pretty common statement, and then I check the newspapers the next day, and it's like, Quentin Tarantino was calling out his estranged father, or, Quentin Tarantino and Jennifer Lawrence, quote, didn't work out. Or today there's a headline in the Hollywood Reporter, Quentin Tarantino slams critics. And I'm like, this guy is living right now in the eye of a hurricane that's invisible to most people, which is that their name gets slapped around all the time. You've been called every name in the book. So has she. Pauline Kael has too. Like, can you talk to me about that muscle, like inside? How do you build the thick skin? We got pretty thin skin these days. You got thick skin. What's the ingredients to kind of letting that roll off you if you do it?
Well, when you just can't take that stuff seriously. Now, at the same time, it helps if you're not on Twitter. It helps if you're not connected to all these things that are coming out. Look, I'm human. I'm doing press right now, so of course I'm going to Google my name every once in a while and see what the stories are coming out. But it used to be a situation where you did an interview for Details magazine or whatever it was, and then you did the interview, and that was that. That was the piece. And maybe another interviewer would read that interview, and then he would, okay, so you said in Details magazine last year that blah 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 blah. That was it. Now you say something on a podcast, or you say something on this, and all these different internet websites are, they're just trying to get clickbait. So they take something you said that could be fairly innocuous, or maybe you're even saying it as a joke, and they just, put this graphic headline to get people to click on it. And then you read it, and then sometimes they try to make a bigger deal of it, or sometimes they actually fess up that it wasn't really a big deal, but the headline was big. So if Quentin slam, I didn't slam anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't use that adjective to say.
Of course not. I listened to the interview. I agree. You didn't slam anybody. Yeah, that's the headline.
Like they just slather these adjectives. But it comes and goes. It comes and goes. This will be gone 3 days from now. But it's not a big deal anyway.
Well, I hear a couple things. One is that you stay offline as much as you can in terms of Twitter and stuff. Number two is you recognize the fallacy of the argument when, you may be curious if there's a good argument, but you also are like, that's wrong. You can hold that mental confidence. And the third thing is the timeliness. Because of the news cycle's speed, you're just like, well, this will be old news. Those are three things I picked up in there. Is there anything else that you're doing just mentally, in terms of psyching yourself through this? Because I think about myself. I get a bad headline, I'm crying. I'm not going to get back up for weeks. That's the skill I thought you were really demonstrating.
I've been doing it for a while. So I've had good pieces and I've had bad pieces. Nothing's come out that's necessarily a bad piece. It's just it's just like sensationalistic stuff. But I've had really bad magazine articles where people really go out to skewer me, but it all goes with the territory. Nobody likes it, but that it just passes, and F it.